In this lesson, I used the 5-3-1 disciplinary literacy strategy to showcase with my students that you could use thinking and writing to illustrate math topics. Today, guys, what we're going to do is we're going to learn a new strategy called a 5-3-1. Okay? You may have done something like that before. Okay? And we're going to learn a little bit about it today. We're going to do the 5 part, and then we're going to do the 3 part. And we're going to wait to get to do the 1 part, okay? So, a 5-3-1, what it does is it tries to find out what you're thinking and narrow down your thinking so that you can figure out maybe what a topic is about, or kind of lead you in the right direction and help you express the things you've been learning. Okay. I selected the 5-3-1 strategy to use in this lesson due to the fact that school-wide we were trying to use some disciplinary literacy strategies in our classrooms, and 5-3-1 was one that we were particularly working on. So I decided to implement it with inequalities. So what I want you to do is I want you to listen to this question, okay? What do you think of when you hear the word inequality? Okay? And what I want you to do first is on your own, okay? I want you to write down 5 things that you think of on your own paper when you hear the word inequality. Okay, as you're writing, it could be a word, it can be a phrase, it could be anything you think of when you hear the word inequality. Okay, now what we're going to do is with your shoulder partner, okay, you're going to compare the things you wrote down. And what I want you to do is anything that you wrote down in common, I want you to circle it, okay? So you're going to do this in pairs, okay? So what I want you to do is I want you to discuss with your partner the things that are on your list, the things you thought of. Then I want you to circle down the things that are in common, okay? And remember, while you're talking to each other, remember the appropriate ways to go back and forth, right? Okay? Go ahead. I was very pleased with how well the students worked together using the 5-3-1 strategy. I felt like they communicated well when it was time for shoulder partners. As we went on and they eventually narrowed their 3 items down to 1 sentence, I felt like they were listening to each other, paying attention to the things each other said. I think one of the things that helped them out a lot was that they know each other very well and they're in class together all day. So because of the fact that they're comfortable with each other, I think that enhanced their use of the strategy.
Same thing, I was more specific.
You were more specific with the way, or which type of math that you were using, like that. I also see that you used the less than symbol, and I just wrote the word less than.
You have the not equal sign, and I said can/cannot be solved. So.
Or would it go with the non-equal?
Yeah. So you want to start?
We got down to math, equation.
We really could go ahead and them as one because problem solving comes with less than greater than the bringing together, and then all of it like goes with math.
All right.
breath symbol, so that would be together. And adding and subtracting, addition, so I don't have any multiplying and writing.
One, the two-step equations would like go together because two-step equation, one-step equation, multi-step equation.
Okay, that's all.
I think that's all we got.
That y'all have already done it in another class, and then you know where to take it, because that'll help me when I look at your stuff to figure out what we need to do when we try it again, you know, so I'm glad for that, and that really, it makes me glad to see that y'all were able to take that and synthesize it into one statement. To begin with, I wasn't sure how the 5-3-1 strategy would assist students with understanding the math goals for my lesson. However, the more I used it, the more I realized that when students started listing out their 5 items, it really made them focus and think about specific things they wanted to write. Some students wanted to write more things, and some students had a hard time coming up with 5 things. So I felt like the strategy helped them narrow their thinking and decide what was important. Okay, guys. I understand from walking around and talking to you, some of y'all have been able to actually take this a step further and go on and go to the one part, which is taking your 3 things you have in common and coming up with one statement or one idea that kind of covers what you had in common, is the way I see it. What I was just telling one partnership is that it's very good for me to see you do that, because when we learned about this the other day, it was kind of hard for me to see how we might use it in math, but to see y'all take this and go on and go farther with it makes me realize as a teacher that this can be useful and that it's something that we can use. And the fact that you have taken it, some of you, that step further is very impressive to me. So I'm very glad to see that. As I implemented the 5-3-1 strategy, I implemented it over 2 class periods. The first day we were focusing purely on the 5 and the 3. I had the students do the 5 independently, coming up with their 5 items. And then with their shoulder partner, I had them narrow their list down to 3 items. Due to the fact that we were going to take this in 2 days, I was very surprised, pleasantly, that a lot of the students on the first day were able to go ahead and narrow it down to one statement that encompassed their 3 items.